Hi my loves, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Osereme, and on this channel we share sewing tutorials and everything related. In today's video we're going to be creating this dress picture that I just placed on here right now, and you can see the video with the brown dress is what we are going to be making together. So if this is something you're interested in, you definitely want to keep on watching, because this tutorial teaches you how to go about making a boo-boo with a ruche that comes all the way from the bottom and hangs on the waist area. So if you're interested in this, keep on watching and let's get started. Hi guys, this is the fabric I'm going to be working with. You will need about 3 yards depending on your size. So now I have this fabric here. It's actually very soft and it's quite not beginners friendly to work with. So if you're a beginner, you might not want to work with this type of fabric because you might struggle a lot, okay? So anyways, with that being said, first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to fold this fabric into 2 equal halves. I'm using the whole fabric, and I will just use the excesses that I cut off to do every other thing that I will need to do. So first I'm going to go ahead and fold this fabric into 2 equal halves. It should be counted 2 on this side when you fold it into 2. So as I folded this into 2 now, the next thing I'm going to do is to fold it up again to make it a fold into 4. So I had to go ahead and do that behind the camera because the fabric was moving a lot and I had to take it over and iron it out to fold it into 4. So this is my center front. This part here I'm going to use as the side, okay? And then this upper part I'll use as the shoulder, okay? So if I choose to count, you'll notice that it is 4. It's folded into 4. So make sure to fold your fabric into 4. And then I'm going to now turn the side that I want to use as the shoulder to you guys, so that it will be easy for me to work with. Guys, this fabric is literally wanting to fall off from the table as I'm working with it. So this is not one that you should use. This is not the type of fabric you should use as a beginner. You can see it's folded into 4. I just counted it. So you must fold into 4. This side will be the side, and then the other side that doesn't have any opening will be the center front. So this upper part here now that I've turned to face you guys is now my shoulder area, okay? So I'm going ahead to just draw a straight line across to serve as my shoulder line. I hope you guys can actually see this tailor's chalk. I think I should get whiteboard chalk at this point, because this tailor's chalk sometimes doesn't really show like you want it to show in videos. So I've drawn a straight line across. This is the shoulder line, okay? So from the part that I said I'm going to use as the center of this boo-boo, I went in by 3 inches for my neck width and came down by 3 inches as well for my neck depth. But I decided to increase the neck width to 3.5 inches because there's not going to be any zipper here. So now I'm connecting the both of them together to give me a round neckline. Can you see? This is the neckline area, all right? So once you're through with the neckline, the next thing you want to do is from the center again, I'm going to go ahead and just divide my shoulder measurement into 2 equal halves. So from this shoulder here, I will just mark where my shoulder measurement is. So divide your shoulder into 2. Now once you're through with that, the next thing you want to do is from the shoulder here, this mark that we just marked for our shoulder, we're going to determine the length we want the sleeves to be. Now this boo-boo, actually the sleeve goes all the way down to almost your wrist, okay? So I'm just going to make do with 18 inches here, which is what I basically have left, so that I'll use the other pieces for other things that needs to be done on this outfit. So once I'm through with that, from that shoulder I'll come down by how wide I want it to be. So I'm marking 8 inches and I'm just extending this armhole area to meet it. Now this is kind of like cutting the sleeve alongside the boo-boo, okay? Now once you've gone in from the sleeve, you don't even need to bother yourself with body measurement and all of that here, because this boo-boo is like one size fits all. Just go in by 2 inches from the armhole area and just measure down like I'm doing here. Now this measurement you will take all the way down. Because this boo-boo starts from the wrist, like I said, it is very free. It is very, very free. This will even size someone who is a size 20. It's very big, okay? So I have turned it over again. This is the neckline, then the shoulder, and then I've done the sleeve area, and then I'm going to take the side all the way down like this. I really hope you guys understand. So this side here is just to take this line that I have coming down and just take it all the way down to the end of my boo-boo. So I am placing my pins back into the bodies because I had to pin this down after folding it into four for it to even be able to, for me to be able to work with it like this, because the fabric is very soft and it just moves on its own. It wants to fall off. It's just not the best type of fabric to use if you're not someone who can manage with something like this. So now once you're through with that, just go ahead and cut through the side. As you can see, I'm removing the pins from the areas that I'm cutting off and putting it back on the areas that I need. As you are working, your fabric will shift, so you have to be very careful when you're doing this. So I'm just going ahead to cut out the side, as you can see, then through the armhole area, the little armhole that we have here, and then the sleeve, as you can see, and then back to the shoulder area at the top. So you can see how it's moving. Someone had to help me hold it on the other side so that I don't end up with something that is bent. All right, so now after cutting the shoulder, you cut out your neckline, and basically you're done with the bodies. Now from the shoulder, I'm going to measure down to the length that I want this boo-boo to be. Now it is long length, right? So you want it to go all the way down to the floor so that when you ruche it, it will still be long enough on your body. So I will just use 59 inches for my length here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just cut through at 60 so that by the time I fold it up, it will go down to 59 inches. So I'm done cutting this. I really hope that you guys understand what I did here. I'm just going ahead now to remove all the pins so that we can start working on this. So guys, after removing the pins, I have the front and back pieces like this. Now the reason why you fold your fabric into four at the beginning is so that you cut the front and back together. The front and back of this particular boo-boo is the same, so there's no difference between the front and back. So you cut the front and back together, shoulder and everything together. Okay, so now the first thing I want to go ahead and do is to work on the neckline area of both the front and the back. Like I said, it's a round neckline and it's wide enough to go around my head even without a zipper. So I'm going to go over to the sewing machine now and use a bias to turn the neckline for both the front and the back. So now the neckline has been piped around with my bias. This is what the wrong side is looking like. Can you see? I've done the same thing for both the front and the back pieces. Okay, so now I'm going to just pick any one of them to use as the front. So I'm picking this one, and I've turned the wrong side, as you can see, to face me. And now we're going to work on the area where we will have that ruche. Okay, so I am just going to go ahead and measure that out. It's very simple. Just pay attention to it. I have it folded into two. As you can see the neckline area at the top here. So now I'm going to measure where I want the ruche to be on the front. You pick the side that you want it to be, whether you want it to be on your left or on your right. Once you've picked that, face that part of the fabric to face you. And then from the shoulder, you're going to measure down to the length where you want the ruche to start from. Okay, so I will start this from 17 inches here. So I will just make a mark here at 17 inches. This is where I want the ruche to start from. And I will go in from the center of my fold here. This is the neckline area, right? This is the center front. So from the center front, I will go in by about 4 inches. That's like your nipple to nipple measurement, something like that. So that 4 inches that I'm marking from the center, I will mark it all the way down. So first measure from your waist down to where you want the ruche to start from. And then from that point, start going in by about 4 inches. Like if you're on a bigger size, you might want to use like 5 inches for this part so that the ruche is not somewhere in the middle, so that it goes to the side as it should be. But once you've gotten the measurements that you want to use, 4 inches like I'm doing here, just go ahead and take this 4 inches all the way down. Just create a straight line with it. I'm struggling with this because of the nature of my fabric. It's wanting to fall off the table, but you guys just watch what I'm doing and just try to follow exactly the same thing. So you want to make sure that you are arranging the fabric very well as you are doing this, so that you have the same measurement all through. Okay, so I'm just going to do this all the way down now, and then we'll go and work on the ruche. So now guys, this is what it looks like after I was done drawing the line. I had to take my time to use my chalk to make it more visible so that you guys will see it. So now after I was through with this, I went ahead to cut out this piece of fabric. It is 2 inches wide. Okay, because of the nature of this fabric, I decided to go ahead and iron it into 2 equal halves so I can have a gator line at the middle to know exactly where to follow when stitching this on the line. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do now is to just open this into 2 equal halves. Make sure the gator line is exactly on this line that I drew. So you're going to be doing this only on one side of the front. Okay, so you can see I had to make sure that I'm pinning on one side. So first I will just go over to the sewing machine and stitch this at the middle, making sure the gator line is following this straight line that I drew, and I will take it all the way down. So when I get to the end, I'll cut it about 1 inch away from the bottom. It will not get all the way to the end. So I will go ahead and stitch it down right now and show you guys what it looks like. So I'm done stitching it down. As you can see, this is one side, this is on the wrong side. Make sure that your stitch is done on the wrong side. So like I said, I stopped it here 1 inch before the edge of the fabric at the bottom so that we can fold this area up neatly. And then I started from that 17 inches that we came down by. So this is what it is looking like. This is what the front is looking like right now. So this is done on one side. Before you place this fabric on top, before you stitch at the middle, make sure to fold the edges of this piece. Okay, so now I have created ropes that are very long, or that goes all the way down to the end of this boo-boo from this waist area where we have our ruche starting. So what I have done here is I'm going to place this inside this other side. You know, we now have 2 flaps, right? So place it on both sides like this and go ahead and pin it down. So first thing I will do on the sewing machine is to make a top stitch at the top to secure this in place. So I'll make a top stitch here to secure the both of them at the top. And when I'm now stitching on the sewing machine, what I will just basically be doing now is, after stitching the top to secure it in place, I will now fold this area down. And then when I'm folding it down, I make sure that the rope is inside on both sides. So that way I have been able to encase my rope on both sides. And when I pull on the rope, it will now give that ruche effect. It's very simple. I really hope you understand. Okay, so now I've stitched it at the top, and this is what I'm doing on the sewing machine now. I'm just making sure that the rope goes inside as I am stitching. So I make sure the rope goes inside, like I said. So you can see as I'm pulling on this side now that I've already stitched down, it's already giving that ruche effect. I've not done this other side. So it's very simple. It's to continue. Make sure your rope is inside. The rope I'm using here was, I just folded bias into 2 equal halves. Okay, I just folded bias. That was all I did. So just make sure that as you're stitching, the rope is inside like this. It's very simple. Make sure the rope is inside, and make sure you do not stitch on top of the rope. If you stitch on top of the rope, it will not give ruche anymore. It will stop at that point. Okay, so make sure you must not stitch on top of the rope. Okay, so I'm just going ahead to do it. As you can see, just follow it like I'm doing, and once you're through with this side, you go ahead and do the same thing for the other side basically. So this is it. This is a close look at what I've done. Can you see? Now I've not done the same thing for the other side. Now basically, to do the other side, you just continue to also fold it in like we did on the first part. The aim is to just create a casing and make sure that our ropes are on the inside. So I'm just going ahead to stitch it in place, and then now I have my ropes outside like this, and what I just have to do is just pull on it. So this is what it looks like. When I pull on it, you can see it goes all the way down to the waist area. So this is how to go about creating your casing. Now this is it flat on my table, and you can see what it looks like. So if I pull on the drawstrings, you can see the front goes all the way up, right? So yeah, once you're through with this, you're basically almost done with this boo-boo. The next thing you have to do now is to just turn it over, right sides facing each other, and place the back piece on it, as you can see. And I'm just going to go ahead and pin this down on the shoulders. So we'll pin the whole shoulders down and do the same thing on the other side. So after pinning down your shoulders, I've pinned down the other shoulder, and you can just do the same thing on this side. Once you're through, just go ahead and stitch down the shoulder and fold the hem of the sleeve. So this is the shoulder area that I've stitched down. As you can see, I've done it here and here as well, as you can see. And then this armhole area, this sleeve area, I went ahead to fold it. And now the last thing to do here will be to turn the whole boo-boo over to the right, to the wrong side. Now we're going to be working on the front part again. You know how the waist area of the boo-boo is looking as if it's tight? You have to just create belt on the inside to give that effect. The length of this belt, each one that I created, is 20 inches. You can do more depending on how big you are in size, okay? Now, after creating your 2 belts, just go ahead and divide your waist into 4, okay? Now, from the center front of your boo-boo, in front, go in by that measurement you got after dividing your waist into 4. Mark it on both sides. I'm able to easily identify my center waist, my center here, because of the gator line. So from the gator line, I just marked to one side and marked to the other side. Now, after doing this, from the shoulder, I came down by 15 inches on both sides, and I've gotten the exact point where I'll place my belt, okay? So I'll place this one here on this point, and then I'll place this second belt here on this point. Only in front, please, okay? Only on the part of the boo-boo that you're ruching. So when you wear your boo-boo and you tie this to your back, you will have that tight waist effect in front. So I'll just go over to the sewing machine and make top stitch to secure that in place. Once those ones are secure, we're basically done with this boo-boo, honestly. All you have to do is to just join the sides from the armhole area like this. Just join the sides, and then you finish up the bottom part, and that'll basically be all. So join the sides and finish up the bottom, and once you're through with all of that, you have your boo-boo looking like this. So the sides are joined, and you can see the bottom part has been joined as well. And you can see this area that had the ruche that I told you guys to make sure to leave about 1 inch. The ropes are inside, and I just need to tie them up when you put on the outfit. You just tie them to your back. When you pull on your drawstrings, it just takes it all the way down to very close to the waist, and all you have to do is to just like tie it up nicely, and basically you're done with this. So I'm going to put this on my dress form for you guys to see what it looks like, because this on the table doesn't even look good at all, and it doesn't even look as good on the dress form as it will look when a human being puts it on. But anyways, this is what it looks like finally. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope you find it helpful, and I'll see you guys in my next one.